So I wanted to explain and maybe encourage anyone thinking about getting their CDL and becoming an over-the-road truck driver, what it would be like out there for them, because I know a lot of them have visions of what it is like, but I wanted to confirm it for them.
Okay.
So did you have something you put your finger up?
No. I was flicking
You're flicking your hair.
my hair, the little pieces that happened to come down and tickle my face.
Okay. So I figured I'd tell a story. I'd start off with one of my stories.
Story time.
One of my many adventures out there on the road. You know, I don't know if I ever told you about this adventure or not.
Okay.
I think I was back when I was working for JB Hunt. No, wait, forget that. I never worked for JB Hunt. Swift. When I was with Swift, and I was working for Swift Transportation at the time, and I remember they had me in a triple-digit 379 long nose Peterbilt. And it was, like I said, it was a triple-digit truck. It was company issued, by the way. They had taken care of me pretty good, and it was really awesome. And I remember this time working for Swift that I had just delivered in Dallas. I don't know what it was, cabinets or something. I had just delivered there, and I was empty. I had just left. You know, you get your bill signed. And I left, and I thought, I'm going to go look for an adventure today. You know, you listening?
Oh, I'm listening.
And I don't think I told you about this one, but so there I was, and
Looking for an adventure in the Dallas metro area.
yeah, there I was with my chimpanzee, and his name is Bear, by the way. Right. And back then they called me Bobby Joe. So, and I had Bear. So it was Bobby Joe and Bear. But there I was, me and you can call me, B, whatever. Anyways, so there we were. And we were sitting at a diner, just trying to figure out what's our next move, Mm-hmm. We were just sitting there, me and Bear. And while I was eating, to my surprise, there was 3 men, and they were harassing this little waitress. And, I stepped in and I kindly asked them, I said, why don't you leave the little lady alone? And of course, they told me to mind my own business. You know where I'm going with this, right?
I have a feeling you stuck up for her.
I did. So what happened was one of them put their hands on her. And of course,
Disrespectful thing.
they did. They were disrespecting the waitress. And so I went into action, with my karate.
You and Bear.
Or my UFC. This was before UFC. But anyways, Bear didn't do nothing. He was just eating a banana.
So it was more like MMA?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fight was incredible. I ducked. One guy he busted a beer bottle over the counter, and he was threatening
In the diner.
Yeah, the
Okay.
the part where you can get coffee and
Bear.
this was one of those old-fashioned diners.
I see that. And of course it's in Texas, so
Yeah, and
they have different kind of rules.
they didn't mind that I had a monkey with me.
Yeah.
So anyways, how, like when you punch somebody,
Yes.
right? Okay, do you remember seeing the old Batman show?
Pow.
Exactly. You know where I'm getting. So I hit
First
this.
thing.
I hit this guy with a right cross, and all of a sudden you see this sign just pops up on the wall. I'm just weird. It says "Kapow," right? And so another guy, right, comes up and he smashes a chair over my back, right?
Did it go zing?
Well, no, he just smashes it over my back, and I go down. And the one guy picks me up, and they start beating on my chest, right? And Bear comes over, and he just kind of grabs the one guy's hat. And when the guy turns around, I reach out my foot, and I kick him, and I knock him out. And then I headbutt the guy that was behind me, and we go at it for a minute or two over the bar, and I take him out. And, of course, the little filly was grateful, right? She was thanking me, and turns out her Aunt Nellie Mae. What are you laughing at? It's Texas.
I'm still trying to figure out how I ended up with you.
turns out her Aunt Nellie Mae owned the restaurant.
Oh, they were probably so happy.
And this guy named Ivan Loansharg had loaned her money, and the deadline for the payment was coming up, at which point he would take over ownership of the restaurant.
Oh, no.
This was Ivan Loansharg, S-H-A-R-G.
Mm-hmm.
No relation to Loan Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it also turns out...
Texas.
What's that?
It is Texas, that's why.
It is Texas. And it also turns out those 3 men that were harassing her, they were Loan Shark's men sent to intimidate her.
Oh.
With only 3 days left till the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would take over. Now, after Nellie Mae and myself had talked, they kind of revealed to me that they owned, or I'm sorry, that what happened was, I'm trying to not get ahead of myself. I don't want to reveal a few things. It's kind of an interesting story. True story, by the way. Now, after talking with the little lady and Aunt Nellie Mae, they revealed that they owned a 1957 Chevy Corvette SS Project XP64, and it was worth millions. Interesting, isn't it?
Very.
Now, as crazy as this story may sound, the deadline for the diner to meet the deadline to save the diner was, like I said, it was less than 3 days away. And so Aunt Nellie Mae had found a buyer. But weird as it may sound, the buyer was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Exactly. And the buyer would not pay until he personally inspected the car in person. So the car had to be there in person. So I know what you're getting at, right? What happens next?
What kind of trailer did you carry?
A dry van.
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't a car carrier, but it was a dry van. Mm-hmm. So you know what me and the bear were going to do?
Yeah, I have.
We were going to save the day.
You were.
We were going to go on our adventure, me and the bear. Mm-hmm. And so we loaded up that 1957 Corvette in my Swift transportation trailer. And let's see. I made a couple notes. We stuck it in, and we were heading northbound to Pennsylvania. It's an interesting thought. And see, me knowing that Swift would have supported my decision, I was off running, me and the bear, right? So it wasn't long till, as I was hitting the Arkansas line, I noticed in my mirrors we had a tail.
Uh-oh.
Dun, 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 dun. I mean, this is a true story.
True to you.
No, it's true. So anyways, somehow, and nobody knew, and I guess maybe one of Loan Shark's, crony spies was in the diner at the time when Aunt Nellie Mae and the little filly and I were talking, right? And somehow it got back to Loan Shark, and he sent his men out to try to stop us from getting the car to Pennsylvania. This is a true adventure. And this is what I want these drivers to know, that when they get their CDL, they can expect adventures like this, Ruthann. Seriously. They will have all kind of crazy times where they will be able to get out there after they deliver a load and use the company truck to go on adventures. And most companies will support this. So let me finish my story. Is that okay?
Oh, I'm not interrupting. I'm waiting to hear the end of it.
So now we're in Arkansas, and Loan Shark's men, they're shooting at us. Right? And we're dodging bullets and ducking. Ironically, there's no cops around. And we were actually forced to get on back roads, dirt roads, make our own trails through the woods and fields. We had to hide out.
So how long was your Swift trailer? Was it a 53?
No, back then it was a 48-footer.
Okay, because I think it would have been a little bit hard to do some dips and four-wheeling.
Why are you trying to...
Hey, I'm just trying to figure this out.
Why are you trying to debunk my true story?
Oh, I'm not trying to debunk anything.
Well, I mean, you sound like you don't believe me. I mean, listen, do you know how important it is right now that these new truckers understand what it's like out there? Do you know they need to know there's going to be times where they go in a diner and they have to defend a young filly and maybe it's not Aunt Nellie Mae, maybe it's Aunt Pearl or something, some kind of Southern name. All right, where
even if you're in Chicago.
Well, no, then the name's changed. But anyways, so they got to know they're going to have to defend these women, and they're going to have to go on an adventure to save the day. They are going to now be heroes out there on the road on their adventure. And listen. they have to get their own chimps or whatever they're going to have as their side mate.
Can I tell them what you were watching this past weekend?
Tell them.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go.
He's off and flying as he guns a car around the track.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Troy, except for right now he's driving a, what was it?
Adventure's just waiting just ahead.
What were you driving? What's your Swift truck?
It was a 379 Peterbilt.
Yeah, in triple digits.
Company issued triple digit.
Yeah. So tell me when your brother X comes into the picture.
Oh, it's Racer X. Now, listen, I'm serious now. This is a true story, and I want these drivers to understand what it's like to be a trucker. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because I know they think this, so I wanted to confirm it. So, again, I want to just explain. I had 3 days to get to Dallas, to get from Dallas to Harrisburg and back.
Yes.
By, I think it was like noon on Sunday. And so, did I forget to tell you the deal was for cash only?
No, you did not mention that.
It gets weirder.
Did I hear this?
So, I had to have cash because there was no way that we would be able to transfer money, right, and millions of dollars.
Especially this day and age.
On a Saturday to reach the bank by Sunday.
Exactly.
And this was years ago. And so I had to go with like 1,400 miles up and 1,400 miles back in like 2.5 days. And it was crazy. So there I am, right? It all had to come together. And therefore I would have to get to the right person, up and back, dodging bullets, going over mountainous roads, all kind of craziness.
Through the forest.
Through the forest, yes.
Yeah, you did say that. And I think there was a river involved in it too somewhere.
And so
when you're going from Texas over, you got the Mississippi going right down there. There's going to be a river you're crossing at one point.
Right.
Uh-huh. Is Swift paying for the fuel? Sorry.
Wait, well,
I squirreled.
No, actually, I kind of have that in here. I took notes on this because I wanted to remember things, and I kind of messed up on my story my true story a little bit, and so it was a major struggle to get there, but we fought bullets and mountain roads, flat tires, fatigue, and would you believe Swift had turned off my fuel card?
Oh gosh!
Just like you just asked,
man.
But that was only until I called and explained what I was doing to help the little lady out and Aunt Nellie Mae, and of course they turned it back on after I gave them explanation.
Of course they would.
Of course they would. They knew who I was.
Yeah.
But anyways, we made it to Pennsylvania. The buyer inspected the car, true to his word, and he paid us in cash. And of course, we couldn't get on a plane with millions of dollars because the authorities would have found us, and then they would have taken Bear and my money, thought we were drug runners. So, of course, what was
couldn't leave your truck back.
No, we had to drive back to Dallas.
Right, you couldn't leave your truck back.
Right, and there was no way. I wasn't going to leave my truck there. So we hopped in, and listen, I want to tell you, we made it back. I mean, yes, Ivan Loanshark's men tried to stop us again. They shot at us the whole time. They shot out tires. We changed tires. We did all kinds of stuff. I mean, we even ran into some guy, called himself Bandit or something. And I don't. Anyways, no. But so we made it back.
Did you meet Rubber Duck?
We did.
I thought so.
But
here's the feeling.
It's true. It's true. But now listen, I want to tell you. The deadline was noon on Sunday. Uh-huh. We got back. I had to fight a bunch of men once I got on the property, but at 11:59, I dropped a bag of money on the counter. Oh. In your face, Ivan Loanshark.
Take that.
Yeah, we jumped out of our 379 Swift Transportation Company issued long-nosed Peterbilt triple digit.
And you had the triple digits to get up to that. Back.
And you want to know something? Everybody thought I was going to deck Loanshark, but guess who did?
Nellie Mae.
Aunt Nellie Mae had the laugh.
Her.
She did. She cracked him with her cane. But anyways, I want truckers across the United States to know that there's an adventure after every delivery, because I don't care who you're working for. They love when you go on an adventure, and they will support you on your adventure, because that's what trucking over the road is all about.
Or just watch Speed Racer.
No, Ruthann, don't.
Yeah, I'm just telling them, if they can't get their adventure, if they watch Speed Racer, they'll feel good.
I don't want you to make light of my true stories. I'm serious now. I don't want to get into an argument with you. Now I'm serious.
I'm still trying to figure out if I was making light of it or making fun of it.
Exactly. You're making fun of me. And you know what? I was a hero.
In your own mind.
Ruth Ann, this is BS. I'm going to quit the show.
It is BS.
No, BJ. I was BJ. But no, seriously, it's true. And so what these truck drivers should know when they get out there, all right, especially you single guys, in every adventure, you always get the girl and you save the day.
They're called lot lizards. Don't go for them.
The girl is not a lot lizard, Ruth Ann.
They give you something to remember them by.
You're bad. I can't even believe you. This is just a nasty show today. You're supposed to be my co-host. Now,
Co-host is not a cohort.
Listen, if you truck drivers believe that, I've got more stories for you and a bridge to sell you. And I mean that sincerely. A lot of truck drivers think that it is an adventure out there. And, I thought it was kind of an adventure because I really like being out there. But, I would tell you, you're not going to get a company issued triple digit 379P, especially off Swift. And by the way, I've never worked there.
You'll get a company issued 379P. It's not going to be triple digits.
No, you won't get a 379. That's a long nose Peterbilt. They're not issued.
Okay, fine.
Well, they make the 389 now, but not many companies are going to issue that. They're all anteaters. But you're not going to get a company issued monkey. You're not.
Well, it could be a.
And there's not an adventure around every corner. In fact, every corner you need to find a place to sleep because you're so damn tired. And the day you get empty and then try to go on an adventure, I promise you they will give you an award, but it won't be one you like. It'll be your termination papers. The real truth, trucking is not easy. It's the truth.
It is true.
Now I'm being honest. After my true story, I'm being honest. But you don't see your family. You get tired a lot. You fight bad weather, lots of traffic, bad traffic. You'll hate most cities that you have to deliver in once you've done it. Most of your dispatchers you will not like. You won't like any of your safety directors. Most of you guys will gain weight. Most of you will develop high blood pressure, high blood sugar. Some of you will get hemorrhoids. 2 out of 3 of you guys that get your CDL will not make it 6 months and never drive again. And that is the truth because that's the numbers. Most guys, once they get out there, they realize that they signed up for something that they didn't count the cost of. And that's just the truth about it. And so if you're thinking about being a trucker, I promise you, as far as pet policies go, I don't know any that allow chimpanzees. You'll be able to take your dog, but I can assure you.
Some take cats.
Yeah. Ugh.
I think the same, but some do.
I just can't see a litter box in my truck. But, that's another show. I would tell you guys, if you haven't paid for your CDL yet, count the cost. If you think it's a quick buck, count the cost. Your first year or two, you're not making a lot of money for the amount of time you're out there. And we both know it's very super expensive to live out on the road. And you can't just eat out of a lunchbox and eat sandwiches. Although I did that for about a year. But, you need hot meals and, everything at a truck stop is expensive. So the money you do make, a portion of it, most guys end up blowing on the road. So I'm not saying it's not worth it because I loved being out there. It was an adventure to me. I loved going bye-bye in truck.
He still likes going bye-bye.
Right. And I really loved, when I was going to find out where's my next load. To me, it was an adventure. No, I didn't get the girl. No, I didn't fight 3 guys off. In my mind, I could, but in all sincerity, it was It was not that kind of an adventure. And so if you haven't counted the cost, you might want to do that. Sit down and really investigate what it's like out there. And, take a week or 2 if you're not working and just stay local, but go somewhere, but don't come home. don't come home. And just keep doing that by yourself. Stay by yourself. And just see if you even like that. But that's not even really, that's maybe a hint of what it's like to being out there. Go ahead, Ruthann.
Well, if some drivers, yes, it could end up being for them if they have no family that they need to come home for. If they are one like you that like to go off and like to go and do different things, it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and think that it's going to be a complete adventure continually. You will have some downtime. You will have chances to do certain sightseeing. But there is a lot of stuff that goes with it. Like you said, the food itself, the health risks that you end up taking. There's drivers that post different stuff out there on weightlifting while in the truck, eating healthy in the truck. You can do it. But if it's something that you truly want to do, look into all of that.
Yeah, I agree.
The one driver, I don't even know who he is. I just remember seeing his TikTok videos where he was doing those burpees. He would be fueling the tractor, do some burpees, run around the tractor a couple of times, and then he's done. But he got his cardio up and he had some good exercise going on.
I find the word burpee to be offensive.
So do I. But
can't you just say you were exercising?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that comes to my mind when I see this person in my mind. That's what he's doing. But I don't like the word either. It just kind of drives me nuts.
But that's what he called it, burpees. And it's like, what the hell's a burpee? But anyways.
It's an exercise.
The other thing that we didn't mention also is depression. That's a big thing among truck drivers.
I think now, though, also one of the good benefits that drivers have now that we didn't have when you were on the road is the FaceTiming, Zoom calls, anything like that you could do. There's so many different, even now at TikTok, it's got the live chats that you can do. You go into a group of friends and you can start doing different things. So you don't have to be completely alone, but you do have to pick out what you truly want to be doing with that time you have.
I mean, that might be helping, but I just seen a report on it the other day about, a lot of truckers, they show pictures of truckers in a lounge and they're just sitting by themselves. They're just, they drove and they're just sitting there and maybe some of them don't really have a lot of family. And it's just, you get out there and you're like in one city, one town, one state, and, you don't have anybody really to interact with. And, some of them get depressed. That's a big conversation about over-the-road truck drivers also.
So set a goal to when you go into the lounge and you see drivers sitting by themselves, walk up to them and say, "Hey, what you doing?" See if they'll interact. Maybe they need that. You never know. I'd be that person. I would be the person walking up to someone saying, "Hey, how you doing? What you doing? Can I help you? What's up?" I would be annoying probably, but I would be there to try and help them.
Awesome. Okay, moving on.
All
right. I did you like my true story? What?
Like I said, it was true to you.
All right, you don't want to believe me, don't. But anyways, Let's go ahead and take a break. For over 20 years, Sumar Financial has been a trusted partner for owner-operators and small carriers, providing fast, flexible, and transparent freight factoring solutions that keep businesses rolling. Here's why truckers choose Sumar. Number 1, same-day payments. Number 2, if a broker doesn't pay, Sumar takes the loss. Zero risk for you. Number 3, no reserve plan. Get all your money up front with no hidden final payouts. Number 4, no long-term commitment. Try Sumar with no minimum volume requirements or long-term contracts. Number 5, fuel card program with top savings. The best network in the country, flexible payment methods, and IFTA support. With fast, hassle-free payments, technology-driven solutions, dedicated account executives, no surprises, no hidden fees. Trust Sumar Financial to get your invoices paid today. And when we say paid today, we mean paid today. Truck Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truck truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today. If you're a driver looking for a new trucking job, check out NCI. NCI offers the following: new Kenworth T680s, competitive wages, solo, team, and students welcome, plus a full benefit package for you and your family. Check them out today at 888-311-7076. That's 888-7076. And tell them TalkCDL sent you.
Attention trucking companies and truck drivers. If you need help with cash flow, we've got help on the way. Turn to Tab Bank, the bank that knows trucking. Tab Bank has been in the business of helping truck drivers and trucking companies with their cash flow needs for 25 years. It's just that simple. It's what they do, but they don't stop there. Tab Bank helps grow your business with their invoice, factoring, and banking services. What a plus that is. Before you book your next load, play it safe and contact Tab Bank to get their help with your factoring needs. Tab Bank helps determine the credit worthiness of your customers as well as billing and collection efforts on invoices that you factor with them. Let the experts at Tab Bank get you cash quickly for the loads you deliver. Again, it's what they do. Visit tabbank.com/TalkCDL to learn more. That's tabbank.com/TalkCDL. Tab Bank member FDIC.
All right, we're back. Hey, remember a while ago, a couple of years ago, we reported on, like, if there's a downed electrical wire and it's touching your car, it's touching an area on the ground, how you got to get out of your vehicle 2 feet at the same time. You can't, and you can't like walk and break the conduction. And so if you lift your leg or you land with one leg, you're going to get electrocuted because you then become a conductor. Electricity's passing through you. But if you get on the ground and you shuffle your feet as you're walking, but don't pick them up, you can safely get out of there. And this is what experts say. But here's a weird story this week. Actually, CDL Life had it. It says, driver electrocuted, ejected when oversized load makes contact with live power line during evasive maneuver. It says a truck driver was ejected and electrocuted after his oversized load made contact with a live power line overhead. It says the accident happened in Sheridan County, Kansas, on Kansas Highway 23 at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, March 26th, 6 miles south of U.S. Highway 24 on Road 70 South. It says, according to the news, the truck driver was hauling an oil derrick on his 1979 Kenworth flatbed when he decided... That was weird. A 79 Kenworth. So I guess it was a 79 Kenworth pulling a flatbed. But anyways, when he decided to turn right onto a roadside ditch to give himself additional overhead clearance. So I guess he was trying to get on a service road for his oversized load. During an evasive maneuver, the oil rig made contact with the overhead power line running along the north side of the road. It says... was he making a turn? So he's trying to go a little wider to make the turn? I don't know. I'm not sure of exactly, but he ends up getting on a different road. Anyways, it says Sean Kindler, I think he was like 53, something's blocking this, and it says was pronounced dead at the scene. A short time later, a 48-year-old man was able to enter the cab and put the brake on without injury. The incident is still under investigation. And I thought for some reason, I always thought since, okay, he's in a truck and all the rubber's on the ground, right, that he was grounded. But apparently your vehicle can get, and it was a high voltage power line. I don't know if that makes a difference from a regular one. I'm not an electric guy, so, don't write in and say you sound dumb because I don't know about this. But I was always under the impression if you stay in your car, you're safe around electricity. I guess I'm wrong about that.
I think it depends. Like with him, it was coming from the top, coming down through all the equipment.
I don't know.
That maybe that had something to do with it versus it hitting the road and traveling that way to the vehicle. I don't know. I'm not an electrical expert either.
Yeah, we should check into it just for the heck of it, and then maybe on the next podcast we could kind of, do like a follow-up story on, what does happen like that. So my thing with drivers is, man, be careful of overhead, because overhead is where the electrical stuff is. It's in the air, so be careful, especially hitting a pole and having one come down. Just be careful around electric. Truckers have enough danger out there that, the last thing this guy probably thought was, hey, I'm going to get electrocuted today driving my tractor trailer.
Don't they have like grounding inside vehicles, like where it's like, I know with your outlets, your little green screws, your grounding screw or whatever, but don't they have something like that in vehicles where it makes them grounded?
I don't know.
I thought I heard that somewhere, that they put something in there that helps ground the vehicle. I wonder if...
I know on my boat there's some kind of weird metal that's put on the motor to keep it grounded. It's weird. And salt water can deteriorate. I forget what it's even called. But again, I'm not an electrical kind of guy. So if anybody's got the answer, I know that we've got a lot that will write in on this. Send us an explanation, and we may go ahead and use your explanation on our follow-up, and we'll give you a shout out here on TalkCDL. Send us the explanation on why you would be electrocuted, especially with 18 tires. Talk about really being grounded. Again, that's just my way of looking at it. Moving on. Rita, you had something I wanted to just mention real quick before you pull that story up, because it's really, I don't want to say cute, but it's weird. But I wanted to mention real quick that they are proposing again that trucker tax credit. So you guys should keep an eye out for this. I know a couple of years ago they were trying to get it through. Apparently it didn't go through. But it's a $7,500 tax credit for CDL drivers. Now, there's some rules. It says lawmakers have issued a proposal that seeks to strengthen the U.S. supply chain by offering a tax incentive up to $7,500 to help the trucking industry retain drivers. See, they're really getting desperate for drivers. It says the Bipartisan Strengthening Supply Chains Through Truck Driver Incentive Act was reintroduced on March 27th of 2025 by Reps Pat Ryan and Zachary Nunn. The bill asked to incentivize truck driving by offering a 2-year refundable tax credit up to $7,500 for truck drivers holding a valid commercial license, CDL. And you have to drive at least 1,900 hours a year. Although it says if the bill passed, new truck drivers who did not meet the 1,900 hours mark could still receive a portion of the tax credit if they drive less than 1,420 hours in the year, but drove at least an average of 40 hours a week upon starting to drive. The bill would also create a new refundable 2-year tax credit of up to $10,000 for new truck drivers or individuals enrolled in a registered trucking apprenticeship. The bill is endorsed by the American Trucking Association, the Trucking Association of New York Farm Bureau Federation, International Food Service Distributors Association, and the Teamsters. As far as I'm concerned, Ruth Ann, I think every trucker, and I don't care, not just over the road, local guys, everybody that's out there busting their butt every day, hours and hours and hours of doing this, they should have some kind of special tax credit. It shouldn't be an incentive. I say give them all that all the time. A minimum of $7,500 per year for life, as long as you're working in the industry. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I do agree. I think that the truck drivers, you give them the incentive of per diem, but yet you cut it in half on them. I think that they should have something that can be more of a benefit for them. Yes, they can write certain stuff off, but they can't write everything off that they end up spending while they're out on the road. They don't get enough back income-wise to cover that. You keep cutting their hours. You keep cutting how much miles they're allowed to drive in a week. You're not giving them the benefit of the doubt that 98% of them probably can handle driving and taking care of themselves. Now you add in that they have to pay for their parking. So they should have every right to have something given back to them as a big enough tax break to kind of compensate for all the other stuff that they lose out on.
That's a great point. You know, their costs have gone up, and now, I mean, I never had to pay for parking. At one time at the Detroiter when I was a young trucker, but other than that, I never seen a truck stop even. Well, that's not true. I seen one in Connecticut, but most truck stops when I was a driver, there was absolutely no paying to park your rig. So yeah, Ruth Ann, I like your answers to all that. So hopefully this will go through and truck drivers will get this tax write-off. That's pretty much what I had, Ruth Ann. You got something there, plus you have the word of the day, but what's your little story you were telling me out in the other room?
Okay. The title of it is Truck Driver Charged for Smuggling 6 Migrants Through the I-35 Checkpoint.
Which, that's nothing new.
No, it's nothing new. So I'm going through and I'm just going to read a little bit, and I was flabbergasted. I know that sounds odd, but here's what caught me. A truck driver said she wanted to make extra money by smuggling 6 migrants through the Interstate 35 checkpoint, according to court documents.
So, is that what flabbergasted you?
Yes.
She? So it's a chick.
It's a lady.
It's a chick, a trucker chick, smuggling migrants.
Right.
Now, I don't know if another female trucker has ever been arrested for smuggling migrants, illegals into the United States, but she might be like, that's a bad title. Hey, I was the first.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, most women that are out on the road, honestly, I don't think that we couldn't handle doing certain things, because women could be tough too. This lady had a loaded gun in the truck with her, but as far as would you truly want? I mean, as a woman, we don't want certain people around us to begin with. But can you imagine having 6? I think there are men in the cab with you, hiding out while you're driving them across the border.
Maybe that's why she had the gun for the illegals. I don't know.
It's still. I just can't think of the reasoning behind it, because here's what she said. She agreed and expected a payment of. Are you ready?
Yeah.
$1,700.
Wait. For each one or for all together?
See, it doesn't get very descriptive, because then it says to transport people north. It doesn't say each. It doesn't say per.
Sounds like $1,700 for the whole deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to insult women, but I don't know many men would have said, I'll take it for $1,700. No, I'm just kidding, ladies.
And then she said, it says here that she was expecting payment when she hit San Antonio. So she didn't even, she didn't get paid immediately. She didn't get like a partial payment. She said that they pulled up next to her in a sedan and a four-door truck, a white four-door truck and a dark-colored sedan. And she says all she knows is they started pushing these people into her cab and covering them with blankets. It's like, can
you even imagine you're in Mexico? I guess she was in Mexico, right? And because she smuggled them across, and you make the deal. All right, I'll go ahead and do it for whatever money, right? But then that moment of truth comes, right? Where they pull up beside you in the dark pickup and start shoving these human beings into your cab. I'd be like, what the hell am I getting myself into? Get out! Get out! I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
It is extremely crazy. And she sits there, and it's so funny because she goes, wait, I gotta go to exactly how she put it. She says, I made a bad decision. That's what she said. She added she made a bad decision to make extra money.
You think?
Yeah.
She had an epiphany. This was bad idea I'm just telling you, at that moment, that's when I would have probably had a freak out moment when I realized, hey, this is actually happening. You know what? Get out of my truck. I don't care. Get out now. Out. Vamos. I do know some Spanish. Vamos. Vamos. Hit the El Rode. I'm just saying, I literally would have been like, get out. Okay. Anyways, Ruth Ann, that is the podcast for the week. Everything we read was factual. And I hope that all you new truckers out there do understand that, yes, you will have an adventure saving the day somewhere. And that's what trucking's all about. Ruth Ann, go ahead and give us the word of the day. Do you have it ready?
I do.
Let's hear it, girl.
Quiescent.
Again?
Quiescent.
Quiescent with a Q?
Quiescent.
Quiescent?
Yeah, like quiet, but it's quiescent.
Okay.
So Quiescent. Quiescent.
Give it to me.
In a state or period of inactivity or dormancy.
Quiescent is basically in a dormant state.
Mm-hmm. My favorite band never broke up, but they've been quiescent for over a decade. After suffering a few quiescent seasons, the local baseball team roared to a powerful victory on opening day.
That's pretty cool. Quiescent.
Yeah.
Spell that one more time because I might try to use it.
Quiescent. Quies. Well, like quiet.
Right.
No T. So it's quiescent.
Yeah.
Scent, like the smell. Scent.
And I was thinking the way you read that, they were quiescent. Almost like saying, yeah, they've been quiet for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's kind of how it is.
All right. We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.